Hi, I'm Uncle Carl, and welcome to Twinmoonstavern. Today we're doing Lobster Thermidor. Often thought of as a fancy meal, but the way I make it is pretty easy while still looking impressive. It is a fairly traditional meal, however I'm going to do a few things a little differently. Typically it's made with whole lobsters, but to make everything easier I'm just going to use lobster tails. Now the lobster tail obviously has a hard shell on the outside of it. The top side is really rigid, but the bottom side is a little softer. And what we're going to do here first is cut along where the soft side meets up with the hard side on either side of the shell. That's going to make our future steps a little bit easier. So just get some good sharp kitchen shears and snip away. These little fin slash flipper things, you can either leave them or not. It's really kind of up to you. Doing it this way instead of using the full lobster is a little trick I picked up by watching Chef John on Food Wishes. You should really check him out. He's got a really great base of knowledge. And then once you do that, in a good deep frying pan, put a good glob of butter, and on a medium heat, put the lobster tails in, bottom side facing down, and cover them for about 3 minutes. Once that 3 minutes is up, go ahead and put them on one side for about another 2, and then flip them over and cover them one last time for another 2 minutes. If this doesn't cook them all the way through, don't be too worried about it. We'll get the rest of the cooking process in a little bit later, but they should be the majority of the way cooked by the time you're finished. I'd like to take a second to thank a fan who wanted to remain anonymous for getting me this really nifty new cooktop. It's an induction cooktop, which means it doesn't actually heat up. It uses electromagnetic waves to heat the pan itself, and it gets pans super hot, super fast, and it's really amazing. And best of all, I can still shoot from my kitchen top where the light's good. Once that's done, go ahead and take out the lobster. Make sure you get any bits of shell that are left behind. And then you're going to go ahead and put in some thinly sliced shallots. And you want to go ahead and sweat those. Maybe get a little browning on them, but not much more than that. Go ahead and deglaze the pan with just a little bit of chicken stock. If you have fish stock or lobster stock, that would be better, but that's a little bit more difficult to come by. And then pour in some heavy cream, a little bit of mustard. I'm using a spicy brown, but a Dijon works well, or really any other kind of mustard that you like. Some freshly shredded Gruyere cheese. Traditionally it's Gruyere, but that doesn't mean you can't substitute it for something a little bit more cost effective like a white cheddar or smoked Gouda or something like that. As always, these videos are really just kind of meant to give you a starting point. You take it into any direction you want. And then you're just going to stir that in until the cheese gets all melted and incorporated into the rest of the sauce. A little bit of pepper, give it a taste, make any adjustments to it that you think you need to. By now the lobster tail should be cool enough for you to handle. Go ahead and pull off any of that extra soft shell on the bottom that might still be there, and then pull out all the lobster meat that you can. Now if you don't know, lobsters, just like shrimp, have that vein inside of them that have all that silt and grit and nastiness. You want to try to fish that out as best as you can. It's not going to hurt anything if it's still in there, but it does add a gritty texture to it. And let's face it, it's lobster poop. And do you really want to be eating lobster poop if you can avoid it? Because of the size of the lobster tails in comparison to shrimp, it's way easier to get out. And once you've done that, get all your lobster and just give it a rough chop. Don't have to be real specific about the size of these, but you do want them to be small enough where you can get 1 or 2 pieces in each bite. Put them in a bowl, pour in some of that sauce that you just made into it. Not enough to make it a sloshy mess, but enough to bind it all. And then some fresh parsley. I went ahead and I did a rough chop on it because I think it's more visually interesting. But really you can go ahead and make them as fine or large as you like. Mix all that together and then go ahead and spoon them back into the lobster shells. If you notice, I already have the lobster shells laid out on a cheap pan with tin foil, and I have the tin foil crinkled up to help keep the shells facing up. And then just split it between the 4 shells that you got here as evenly as you can. Sprinkle a little Parmesan on top. And now from here, we're just going to go ahead and put them in a 450-degree oven at about 10 to 12 minutes, or until that cheese on top starts getting a nice brown color and everything is heated through. And then when you're done, you get something that looks a lot like this. Serve it with a little lemon wedge, and it is rich and decadent, and that presentation is going to impress whoever it is that you're feeding. I'd like to take a second to thank my Patreons. whose continued support really go a long way to helping make these videos happen. And today in particular, I'd like to thank Paulie Travis for helping sponsor this video in particular. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you here next time on Twinmoonstavern.